What's up, guys? Who I got in here with me? Landon, unfinished. How are you guys? What's everybody up to? Did you guys happen to catch the this time? Dan, what's happening? Staying inside, getting fatter. I've put a few pounds on myself. Mr. Dean came all the way from New Zealand, man. That's awesome. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hey, Don. I know Don hadn't been able to go work on the car. It's been too damn cold. And now the rain. What? So do you guys? I know spring's getting a little bit closer, but it's not close enough. Still working on getting fat too. Yeah, well, that's what the cold weather does to me. It's aggravating as hell, but I'll work it off there. Third of the way through winter. Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it. Just hoping we don't get any more snow. I mean, if we do, just a little bit, so we don't need no big accumulation like everybody else is getting. And my head was fine up until about an hour ago. I started sneezing, forgot my allergy meds, and now my nose is clogged up. Stupid. Oh, we got a visitor. What's happening, Dylan? Well,
Hang on, I'm coming.
there
There we go. Yeah, I didn't want there to be an echo. The TV was on,
okay.
Yeah, I'm cold too.
Had to get back into the swing of spending nearly every working hour sitting at the computer. Wasn't that difficult? No, it wasn't.
All right. What's new with you?
Oh, not a whole lot. Dean, I'm allergic to everything, dude. My doctor says trees, grass, cats, dogs, cigarettes, everything. So
just
I'm in a
die,
heap
right?
of hurt. Yep.
Just die.
So yeah, it's whatever.
I am a
Levi,
party animal.
you LS party animal.
I don't know. I got to start figuring out when I'm going to do the live to tear it apart.
So you got the engine in the shop, right?
Yeah. Yeah, engine's out. But I'm going to go through and document what it is. I have a lot of people that don't believe me that it's stock.
So why don't you do like a premiere thing and record it, and then
That's true.
that way you're not trying to stress out on trying to find a day to do it.
Right. I didn't think about that.
Well, I was reading through that. I never took the time to look at all of the platforms that StreamYard had.
Mm-hmm.
And going through all that, and I see where you could do all the premieres and things like that, and I was just like, oh,
Yeah, they offer a
nice.
lot of options.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
I was
they
saying
do.
about that the watch hours thing. Like, if you can, it's the best way to do it. Like, because we get on
Oh
live
yeah,
and talk with each other, right? So they should, and I'm glad that they do it. Like, you're live right now. It's on your channel. I should
right,
be able to have watch hours from that because I'm participating in it, right?
correct.
So, like, when anybody gets on my live, they can start up their own and they get watch hours for it. Like, they get a percentage of mine and then they can have their own, like if someone's
Yeah.
watching on their channel. But
Well, definitely something to look into.
common thing. I don't know. I've been beat by Fords and Dodges, and I've won against them all. I don't know, but the same weight, same cubic inch with Ford motor, I got it made.
You do, because I know a lot of big cars out there with big motors, and they don't run that fast.
But if you compare apples to apples, like the same car with a Ford engine versus mine, same power level or same trying to make the same power, just not going to happen.
Lots of money.
I assume, yeah, just because you have to
Yeah.
probably do an aftermarket block and stuff.
I think even Jason is saying the older 351s, like the one he had, the stroker he made was the good block,
Hmm. So
but that's
are they
that's
good
when he
to
let it go
800?
with, huh?
Are they good to 800 or anything?
You'd have to ask him. I'm not 100% on it. I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't know anything about Ford. I got a
I'm pretty
buddy.
sure they built a lot of horsepower out of the 351s. The 302s, I think those things are good about 250 horsepower before they break.
I have a buddy that's into the Fords, and like I've been trying to get him to do a turbo Ford, and it's like the cost of a turbo Ford is like he can do 2 LS swaps for that. But he's a diehard Ford guy, so it's hard to talk him into doing an
Right,
LS swap. So it's either get deal with the cost or go LS.
right. Well, now's the thing with Jason. I was hoping that he would, Jason's good with Fords. He can make them run good.
Right.
But I was hoping that he would get a, some type of dragster of some sort and use that 351 he had in the back of the garage with those big crazy heads he's got. But that block ended up being bad, which sucks. He had that thing back there in the garage forever. Richard Holdner said they all split in half at exactly 499.5 gross horsepower.
Yeah, my buddy says that all the time, and I'm like, do you know that for a fact? Like, have we ever tried that?
Oh,
It's
that was the big thing is you can't build a ton of horsepower with them because they break. I'm pushing quite a bit with my standard small block, but it's an old school 014 casting 4-bolt main. It's the real good old school block. I should be able to
what
put.
what it's a 350, right?
Yeah.
The 350 block, dude, that's good for like 800 or 900 horse.
Well, it's the old 014 casting. It was the 375 horse 350 that it was in a 70. Chevelle or Monty. I can't remember what it came out of now. But it was a 1970 350.
I mean, heck,
And
the
it's
small block Chevy engine has been. I mean, heck, they probably made tons of power on them. Really,
right.
I
Well,
don't know.
mine, I have a lightweight rifle drilled crankshaft in it now, where I'd had a cast crank in it forever. Still ran 12 O's.
Right.
With a little baby 470 hydraulic camshaft. But now it's an all lightweight, balanced. This thing wings to the moon like that real quick.
That's I don't people don't understand how good of a sound that really is. Like it doesn't matter what engine you put it on, anything that's like 7 or 8,000 RPM, it just sounds good.
Yes. Now this one, it's not good to 8. I could probably take it 75, but
Right.
it's not building any more power. So
Right.
I've got
Yeah,
the chip at 72.
I mean, every engine's got its power band, right? I mean,
Right.
that's originally where that term came from. There's a window of, where it makes power.
Never broken my except two tested.
Some people can build an engine where it makes power throughout the whole RPM lineature or curve, I guess. And some people have to specifically go for a small window.
Right.
Like
Yeah. I mean, I could probably, the crank would probably go 8,000, but I don't know the rods would. The rods that I put in there, I don't think you could spin up that tight.
It would be hard unless you did all the balancing and had the valve train for it. It would be tough to turn like a normal.
I think valve train would hold.
You think so?
Yeah, it's pretty stout. I built it to take abuse. I'm pretty sure it could go 8,000.
I don't know what's in it.
A lot of shit. A lot of time and a lot of fucking money. And,
heard that.
Well, and I cut the shit out of the heads. Hey, Jason. What's up, bro?
That's what I commented on a post today about there's a track opening up again in West Virginia, and they're doing no preps until they can get a timing system. Because the guy that shut the track down sold everything off, so it was just like bare bones of a track, and their no prep was like the only class I fit in small tire. Well, it's a $250 buy-in.
Ooh.
Right, that's steep. Like the highest amount of money that I spent ever on entering a race, and that's a 3-day event, was LS Fest. It's $175. But that gets me.
That's different. That's 3 days.
Right, and that's multiple passes a day.
Yeah.
Then I show up off the trailer and get one pass, and then I'm like, well, gotta go home. I just can't do that. I want to support them, but that's a lot of money.
Tom, what are you talking about? Why didn't the programming take in the PCM? Oh, wait a minute, wrong direction. Here you go, Tom.
282. That's till Halloween, right?
Tom's birthday, that's right.
Right. Okay. Well, Tom, how old is Tom going to be? Was it 59?
Something like that, I believe, yeah. Scarlett, what's happening?
There's Scarlett, the four-eyed CUDA. I'm just curious why it's four-eyed.
Well, it looks like it's got 4 headlights. Work is getting in the way of fun. It always does.
Oh my God. That's totally true. Literally, I swear, anybody I've ever talked to that does anything outside of work, that's the problem. Like,
yes,
literally anything. Like if you like playing basketball outside, it's like there's always something at your job that keeps you from doing the things you like doing. Doesn't matter what you do, if you golfed or raced or
Right.
whatever. Oh,
Yeah, and that's it. I go to work and work on cars,
right,
and I get to work on somebody's old, classic,
right.
whatever it is. Like this '77 Buick LeSabre. It's a big ass car. I like
Yeah,
working on it.
that would be
It's
fun.
ugly as sin, but I love it. But it's different when I come home and work on my car. And when I run out of time to work on my car,
Right.
it gets aggravating.
Well, because it's like you put all this effort into work so that you can have money and to buy the things to put on your car so that you can enjoy it like you want it, and then you don't have time to do that
Right.
with your money. It's like, or with your time.
Yeah,
It's
like Don said, work finances the fun.
right.
Yeah.
Basically, the way I described it to her was your life. You got this small time of window. You get 24 hours. You gotta make sure like you get whatever you work 8 hour day or 10 hour day or whatever. So that's 10 of it gone. You got to plan for sleep. You got to plan for cooking. You got to plan for everything. It's like you got to be efficient.
Well, what's messed up is on the weekends, I probably, most days, I might eat breakfast, but I don't eat lunch just
Right.
because I'm trying to get shit done.
Yeah, you work through it.
Yeah. And same thing on Sundays. I just drink coffee.
If it works, I mean,
I'll
I
like
wish I could drink coffee.
if I get up early enough, I'll take the boat out and I'll take coffee with me.
Yeah.
This is during the summer.
Right, right. Obviously.
I'll it's too damn dude, there's people out there that go boating in this shit and
Yeah, that
there's
screw
no
them.
medication for that shit.
No, they're crazy.
So, I'll get up at like 5 o'clock, 5:30, grab the boat, go fishing for 3, 4 hours, and then come home and start working on the car. Or mow the grass,
Right.
clean the yard up, then work on the car. So yeah, I mean there's that possibility too, but it's just it's funny. My girls, they'll even tell me, "Dad, it's lunchtime. You need to come eat." I'm like, "I will in a minute." Dinner time rolls around. "Hey, Dad, you gonna come in and eat?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." Did you happen to catch that thumbnail, Dylan?
Yeah, it looked like intake gaskets or something.
Well, I tried to zoom in. If you don't eat, I don't have any problems. We're good.
I'm not dead yet, so
So that was a Hyundai Tucson,
Hmm.
and somebody was trying to sell them a rear main seal, and they brought it
right.
to me just to double check. The oil cinder was what was leaking.
No.
So on the back side of the cylinder, or on the block, right at the China wall,
Mhm.
there's a drain hole. It ran right down the crank, and out the bottom by the oil pan, it looked like the rear main seal was leaking.
Right.
So I started this thing, and I'm watching this oil just pour and pour and pour, and I've got I'm not sure if you saw that short I made of that injector leaking,
I don't
but I've got a
remember.
borescope. This camera is just sick.
Right.
I think it was only like $150 on Amazon, and dude, it is badass.
Works.
Oh man. So I used it and I saw where it was leaking at the top of the engine. So ended up costing them like $600 compared to, I think, 16 hours it called for doing that rear main. So that
Saved
was
them some money.
oh yeah.
They're coming back for sure.
Oh, absolutely, yes. But
you just wonder if that other shop or other guy maybe just didn't have that technology, or if it was pure negligence. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Well, even when I have a rear main seal leaking, I still try to eliminate the other possibilities.
Right.
LSs, you know, most times, 99% of the time, the plate that holds the rear main is what leaks,
Hmm.
not the actual lip seal itself. The van blocks were the good ones. The rods didn't have oil holes in the small ends.
That
He
sounds like.
must be talking about the 351.
Oh,
I bet that's what he's talking about. But so I always tried to verify before I even though I knew, on an LS it's rear main, but I still take my inspection camera. I go up and I look and I see where it's leaking right out of that plate.
right.
And typically the bolt's loose. But um, yeah. And come to find out after the fact, I looked it up, and I guess it's a really big problem. And they're doing rear main seals, and then they're also doing the oil sender because they did the rear main seal and didn't need to.
Hmm. Yeah, I bet you come across that kind of stuff every day. Where
Uh,
like maybe not negligence, but like a shop had it and then quoted
can't
some
fix it.
crazy.
We always get the can't fix it,
The figures.
all because there's no check engine light, um, or they've hung so many parts on it and it's still not running right. Ended up being a broken wire or something like that.
See, that's my problem. I don't like broken wires because like I was probably making 450-ish with stock bottom end stuff and good rod bolts. Yeah, I guess that's Jason. We were
Yeah.
talking about over probably 800, 900 is what we were looking at.
Well, when I built my first one, he told me the only thing I needed to do with it was just change the rod bolts.
Hmm.
And that's what I did. I mean, it was probably close to 375 horse. And dude, that motor was together for 18 years.
Yeah, probably that reason the bolt.
And it could be. I mean, I don't know. The fact that it had good rods in it, but these rods are they're Eagle, like your economy style H beams.
Yeah, economy. You sound like it's just
I didn't pay $1,000 for the good rods.
right. You just bought the average guy rods. You didn't buy the power adder rods.
Yeah, they're not stock,
Right. What
but
I always say is it's you either buy the ones that you want to make a lot of power with, or the ones you want to make street power with.
right. Well, I'm told that my car is too much for the street. And I'm like, what? I was like, you
Well,
haven't lived yet.
you can ask her how street my car is, and that was when it was making what was it, 500 and was it 570? I don't remember. I have the dyno sheet from it, and I scared her because I got on it when we were going to Lambert's the first year at No Name.
Yeah.
And I laid into it like it was, I had the car a little sideways. I wasn't exactly like sideways, but I could feel
It was dancing a little bit.
Yeah, because she was freaked out, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little too much for the street, I think.
Nah, dude,
But,
I was in high gear and had my daughter's boyfriend in the passenger seat, and doing 35 miles an hour. I smashed the gas and it started hazing the back tires, and he's grabbing onto everything.
yeah, well, see, that's my problem. Like, what do you consider, street friendly? And I'm like, well, if it's me, I'm gonna try and be in the power band every time I can. So I'm like, I'm gonna be dead. I know I would. You know, if I put something like that in a streetcar, I'm dying. Like, there's no
South
chance in hell.
Dakota. So way back in the day, there was a guy we've known each other for a long time. We call him 2-footer because he's only like, I think he's 4'4", I think.
Right.
He's a little bitty short guy, and he's got a bunch of Mopars, and he's got a 301 Pontiac with a turbo on it. We put Phytech on it, and this thing is just sick. He loves it. Well, go back about 20 years, he had a 78 Dart. I think it was 78, a square-bodied one. And he came over and asked me to help him wire up the solenoids for his nitrous.
Right.
Well, I guess his brother went and got the nitrous bottle filled and was bringing it over at the same time, and I didn't know about that. I just knew we had it hooked up. He put these jets in it. He's like, all right, we should be good to go. Next thing you know, his brother pulls up. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? He's like, oh, I brought the bottle. And I'm like, oh no.
Shooting it with
I've
some
never
light.
sprayed a car.
Right.
Well, we went up on Woodman where there was a Kmart. Used to be a Kmart. It's Kroger's now.
Route 4.
And
Is it Route 4?
No, you're about 2 miles the opposite direction, but you're
Okay.
close. So, I was in third gear, and I bumped the button for about 1 second, and all I saw through the windshield was Kmart.
Nice.
So, you want to talk about pucker?
Right. Yeah. I'm sure you're probably feeling like, what in the world?
So, yeah.
Dan, I have some neighbors out here, some friends. His dad grew up in Dayton area. That's the only reason I know some of his stories with his cars and stuff. I just know the area a little bit. That's the only reason I said Route 4 is I think he's told me several stories of him street racing up there in that area.
Oh man, there's a lot of races right there. Me and Jason will be we'd be sitting on the lake catfishing, 9-10 o'clock at night. And then you hear these cars just blasting down Route 4.
I believe it.
So it's that part, that I love hearing that shit. I would not hate living right by a racetrack.
It's like Edgewater. They got so many. There's a trailer park right next to it,
Mm-hmm.
and it showed up way after they opened.
Yeah.
And like they complain about it. It's like, how do you complain about that? I don't get that. Like you can move elsewhere.
Well, there was a lot of the people that live around Kilcare that they lived their whole lives and were used to it. Well, they'd pass away or move out and new people would move in.
Right.
And they would make these big, huge complaints to the city. And it's like, you knew this moving in, and now you're going to complain?
Right. Did they not drive around the area and like see what's there? Ask the town ask the people in the town how it is? Like
You'd think Trailer Park Hillbillies would be into racing.
that's what I'm saying. And some of them are. There's a couple people in that area that are like top-notch racers. They're great people, but there's always that select few that they move in and they're like, we hate the noise. Well, you bought right next to a racetrack. It's literally 2 minutes. It's probably not even 2 minutes from the racetrack. It's aggravating. And then we go to another one, Thornhill, which the guy that tunes my car, his wife's family owns the track. Or the guy that does our dyno tuning, I guess. His wife's family owns the track, and they get complaints from. So it's in a valley, like a valley, and the place, like I think it's almost 2 miles away, is complaining about the track noise.
Yeah.
It's like, how does that work?
It's either it's going to happen there or it's going to happen on the street right by the driveway.
Right.
So
I mean, I want people to go to the track. I'm not a big fan of street racing. I don't like it only because I've seen lots of people get killed that way, and That's about the only thing I can say about that. And
Yeah.
you can there's ways to make it safer, but there's always a chance that there's going to be some innocent civilian driving through that area at that time and get
Yeah.
killed.
It's going to get creamed.
Right. And I don't want that for anybody.
No.
So at a track, if you hit the wall, you're the only one, or the guy next to you is the only one that's going to get hurt. Which I know isn't a good way to look at it, but still.
Dude, it's whatever. I'm good.
The trailers you see up on the ridge to your left from Edgewater's track are owned by Edgewater. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about on Edgewater's property, but there's a guy that leaves his camper there, at least through the racing season.
Like with no people. Man, there's a lot of places around here to do that stuff with, but you got to worry about the Karens that are calling the police, and then they're looking for any hot rod on the road. So
Right.
even if it wasn't me and they saw me driving my car, I was a suspect.
Right. They don't care who it is. Even if you were just driving your car to go get ice cream.
Uh-huh. Yeah, all my neighbors, they love me over here. It's cool. Except, I got a new guy that moved into this cul-de-sac with me, and he's a Volkswagen guy.
Ooh.
So he doesn't like my car.
Why?
European thing, I guess. I don't know.
I like bugs. Like, there's nothing wrong with bugs. But how many
Well, he's
bugs
got a
are you
little
feeling?
turbo diesel V-dub.
Oh, that's cool.
I spanked his ass with my Silverado, and
That's probably why.
he doesn't want any part of the Camaro.
Right, yeah. He doesn't like the Camaro because it's a Camaro. He likes it because it's faster.
Yeah, he tried to pull around on me on Airway or Colonel Glenn Highway, and he couldn't pull around me, so I just put it to the floor and pulled away from him. And he was mean mugging the shit out of me when he got home.
What in the Silverado?
Mm-hmm.
It's got the 5.3 though, don't it?
Yeah. It may or may not have an edge tuner on it.
Will you turn my alarm clock on? Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry. I'm typing back a message to that guy I was talking about how his wife owns a track or whatever. I seen a comment on a forum that I'm on about LSs, and this guy comes on there and says, "Your turbos don't care about what cam's in it, what cam's in the engine," and I'm like, that theoretically that could be true, but it's not. Every part of your engine, and which is what he said, it could gain 6 to 10 mile an hour on the big end, or your spool time could be cut in half. I mean, think about it. That's your cam makes up your whole timing event. When the valve opens, when it closes, how that time period, and there's so many things that the cam.
Well, you can't shove 40 pounds of boost to a stock camshaft. It won't work.
Not in my opinion, no. And that's what his experience either. And we were just talking about it. He goes, some of the sloppy mechanics and some of the bad sides of, not that sloppy mechanics is totally bad, but there's some people out there that kind of think they know it all, but like they don't realize what's there because they've never been able to experience that.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I've grown up around racing my whole life almost, and I've seen what it takes to build a small block Chevy to rev to almost $8,000. You know, the valve train is a very important part of a motor.
Oh yeah.
And a cam's just
Southeast gassers. Yep.
right. I mean, and the cam's just as important because it tells you literally your engine's literally. She's going to bed.
All right. Good night, Brooke.
Good night.
And that tells you everything what your motor is, when to breathe, when to exhale.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it exhales here and breathes in here, that's not much room or space or time for it to flow. That's what I was like. Your timing events, like there's so many things that go into building an engine that I hate when I see blanket statements or things like that. It bugs the crud out of me. I'll have to make a video on that someday. Street takeovers, dude. Dan, I hate takeovers. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Not there is a group that does streetcar takeover. Different. That's a whole event at tracks. They're great
Yeah.
people. They have a great show, but actual street takeovers, that's the dumbest thing in the world. I hate it. I'm not even against people doing burnouts or donuts in the streets. Just the way they do it is dumb.
They've not come around here doing it yet.
They won't last long where we're at.
All the people around here, they'll probably just lock their doors and go inside.
You think?
Yeah, there's a lot of scared Karens and millennials over here that.
See, in our area, they'll either get shot, the tow truck driver will come in and probably take their car.
Well, and the other thing I think is we have so many APs over here from Right Pat, and plus Riverside patrols through here a lot too. So they probably don't want to risk it either.
Right. Well, I mean, some of these people are literally blocking off intersections where cops can't even get in. It's like, that's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, well, being how Right Pat is right next door, they can get through.
Right. Like, and that's what a lot of people have been complaining about the whole car show scene or cruises or car meets, I guess you would call it. It's like it just turns into that. And it's like, I don't want to go to that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Hang on a second.
You're good.
How the hell do I have a fly in here?
Good luck with that. We got ladybugs. Dan, I like
yes.
that. That's great. It's probably true. That's the sad part. Well, that's what they don't even care about. Like, usually they're thrashing the cars. It's not like they're doing it for the fun of it. You know, most people like doing burnouts and donuts. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to do that. But, I mean, they're hitting them off curbs and smashing them into cars and everything.
What about these retards who are trying to hang out the windows?
I've never I don't get that.
Standing right beside the car just to get hit.
Right. Well, I've seen a couple where people have gotten their pants knocked off.
Right.
I mean,
well, they're sagging anyway, so they deserved it.
Right, but it's just funny. Don, we don't have a Cars and Coffee.
What's up, NSB?
Hey, I was just with them.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did. Well, the video's not out yet. It'll come out tomorrow noon.
They're making a task force here. I think they started doing that in downtown Dayton, to where because they were blocking off intersections and doing that same thing, and they started going after them for it.
Right. I mean, they should. Again, I think even when car meets and car shows were just people, peeling out of parking lots, most cops didn't care. They weren't hurting anybody. It was never out of control.
Well,
now it's
around here. They call it anti-noise and destruction of property. Yeah, when you do a burnout on the street and you're tearing up the blacktop, they get mad about it.
Well, I mean, some of them they're hitting.
You have my car where it's loud as fuck, and people get mad.
Well, they give you a certain decibel reading to where it needs to be. Not that I agree with it, but that's, it is there at least to.
Do you see Dakota's?
Race car spelled backwards is race car. Shaggin spelled backwards is
Yeah, exactly.
rough. Big old rough, dude. That's rough. Oof. That's the kind of stuff you get canceled for.
Yeah, I didn't say it.
Yeah, I didn't say it. It's implied, but I didn't say it.
Damn it, kid.
Yeah, Dan. I mean, you can pay attention and all, but when you're trying to video and smoke your vape and you think you can do that? I can't. I know I can't. Time Dakota out. Canceled. Canceled. Can't have that. Nope. None of that here. Poor guy.
I don't even know if I have any mods on right now. Actually, yeah, Jason should be on here, but
I don't have
Don's
I don't have
mod.
enough people that come in regularly to have a mod, and luckily and thankfully, I've not needed one. So
I've only had a maybe 2 times, and old Millworm, he got timed out once, and then we had some weirdo come in that we timed out once, but Jason can do it.
it's a Compton, California thing, I believe. I believe that. I can think. I've been to California once, and I was in Stockton, and talk about a hellhole.
Yeah,
I didn't go to any of the nice places, but
mm-hmm.
in that area, if you had a Hellcat, I'd have to have one of those plates on it. It was definitely getting stolen. Guarantee it.
Yeah, Don, I think Millworm is a second channel from somebody trying to razz someone, so that's why I busted his balls for a while and called him Big Perm and everything else.
Millworm?
Yeah, John Millworm. Were you not on here for that?
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Dude, yeah, his name was John Millworm, and me and Jason thought it was John Wilburn just messing with us.
Right.
And no, it wasn't. It was actually someone else. And because Jason was busting Wilburn's balls to find out it really wasn't Wilburn, yeah. And John was laughing his ass off about it. And then we what's happening, dude?
Team Top Kick. What's up?
No, I didn't find out actually who it was, but the things he was saying, it just kind of was fitting to someone else's smart assery.
Gotcha. I was
it was just we wrote it out and just listened to him. Or you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, he would get some shit stirred up, and then Jason would just give it back to him. We thought about timing him out the last time. We're like, nah. Well, all of a sudden he started calming down, and then he disappeared.
Really? Weird.
Yeah.
Quit meowing at me. I know you want attention. Jesus.
Man, I don't know if he was a troll or not, Dakota. I just know that he was in here and was trying to push buttons, and it's hard to push buttons with me. You get me going, it's hard to do.
That's my thing. I just ignore it. Like, I welcome trolls. What are they going to troll me about? Like,
yeah, thanks.
Right. Like, in a lot of trolls will bring
you're
up
giving
stuff.
me the watch time.
Right. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't really care. What are you gonna say? That I'm dumb? Sure, I am. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know that you've actually got to see Old Millworm.
No, I don't remember. That's why I said I don't remember when I seen that. I'm like, who the hell's that? It made me think John Wilburn. I will say that, and I'm like, but why would he make it John? I figured he would do something where nobody would think it.
Yeah, exactly. His name's probably Dean Stevenson or something like it on another channel.
Right. Antipsychotics.
The antipsychotics may have kicked in.
A soft troll. What's your definition of soft? What was he just saying?
He was razzing me and Jason pretty good. That's why it made me think that it was someone we knew. Yeah, he had the Packard. That's right, Tom. Yeah.
What's wrong with a Packard?
No. That's what he said he had, and that
this guy could have been a real person
in here and something like that. And
that's funny. He could have been a real dude, just sitting here and
Dean.
I like it. Right.
He wasn't a hateful troll. No, I mean, at first Jason timed him out, but then as it went along, it got more fun. Yes, he was a peach fuzz troll, yeah. Annoying.
All right, I think.
So anyway, what are you working on now?
Well, that's a good question. Today I didn't do jack dilly squat, really. I say that. My car doesn't have a heat. My 97 Toyota Camry.
Which car? Oh, shit.
And so
I mean, it's not a bad time now. Last week it would have sucked.
I was in Florida last week. So, yeah, I didn't need it.
But, yeah, we were negative temps up here last week.
Right. I missed all that. Thank God. It was
cold as shit.
I would have died, probably. Because I mean, when I say I don't have heat, like, it don't blow any hot air. So,
oh, wow.
I still have no
plugged
idea.
Up heater core?
I don't think so. I still have no. I mean, it blows better heat now, but I replaced the thermostat. The one that I pulled out looked brand new, like perfect. The O-ring looked good and everything I don't think that was
backflush the heater core yet?
Huh?
Backflush the heater core yet?
I've not done that. I mean, now I got it to where it'll like blow hot enough heat. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like at idle, it'll blow hot or warm, and then when you're driving, it'll blow actual hot air.
Yeah, it's plugged up.
Right. But see, what I don't get is if it was plugged, wouldn't it be dirty? Like it would have a little bit.
Not always. No, it's got some dirt in it. You're just forcing the hot coolant through when you get on the gas. If it was cold and then it got hot, you had a gigantic air pocket.
Well, see, that's the other thing. I sat there with the cap off and let it run and cycle, revving it a little bit, and a lot of air came out, but not like this big pocket. I mean, like little bubbles.
Yeah.
But I did it for like almost a half hour. So
yeah, that should have been plenty.
Thought maybe that got it. So, I mean, it works better now. Like, I won't die if I have to go in negative degree temperatures.
Well, what I always do is I disconnect it from the heater core. Take another piece of heater hose.
Right.
Stick it on one side, blast it with the water hose for a minute. Stick it on the other side, do the same thing. Do that 4 or 5 times.
I don't know where the heater core is, and I don't know if I want to access it or not.
It shouldn't be that bad.
Well, it is my daily driver, so if I have to take it apart, it can only last a weekend or so.
Yeah, it shouldn't take you that long, to be honest. Took all the bolts off and auto trans to drain, hoping this screw. Oh, shit. 0857 Hemi. That's your winter beater? Jesus. I'm going to go and hijack jack stands and cinder blocks. This is not me. It's serious. All right.
See, that's what I thought about doing. Because I have to get it out.
CLR.
Yeah. Anyway, so on my water pump from a race car, it leaked water for a long time and had hard water buildup kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get a little bit of that on a rag or something and clean that off to try and make it look decent.
I never used CLR. I poured brake clean down inside of it.
Well, I mean, theoretically it would work because it's what one of the words is rust. I know that, right?
Hey, Clintz. Appreciate it, man. Listening while he works.
Don't work too hard. Or if you do, make sure you make a lot of money.
Yeah, and I'm getting so bored at work because I can't open my doors. It drives me crazy. Open the door long enough to pull a car in or out.
Right.
And I love having the doors open.
That's what I was telling her. I hate being back. When I was down there,
just because of the weather.
Right. Yeah. To me, this is the most miserable time I am in the whole year. And it's because I don't get any sunlight. It's not nice. I can't do anything. I mean, I can, but it requires way more effort than what it's worth.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's nice staying warm, Dan, but I'd rather have the doors open, and yeah, that's more freedom.
Well, Dan, another thing is if you're self-employed or at your home shop, you got to heat that shop. Every time you open that door to do something, like let's say in your case, might be pulling a car out, it costs you money, really. Because then you got to heat the place back up once you shut the door.
We got a used oil furnace at the shop.
Well, that's probably not too bad then, but still, you still cost money.
Well, yeah, it does. Got to service it and everything else, but
not as much, right? Not as much money. But
it's got 1,000-gallon tank, and we got about 350 gallon left.
Do you not do many oil changes or what?
Oh no, we do, but it burns pretty much a gallon an hour.
Holy moly, I thought they were more efficient than that.
Oh no. That's it uses a lot.
Yeah, I could never use one of those then because there's no way we can have that much oil.
Well, we always tell everybody to bring all the used oil to us.
Right.
Because we got that 1,000-gallon tank. Now I've got 2 55-gallon drums outside if we get full. That way, if, as we're getting lower, I'll pump that drum into one of the tanks to put it back into that 1,000-gallon tank. And we're about there.
Dan, the best way to get rid of oil is to pour it on weeds you don't want. I'm giving it to the earth, even though that's totally against the law.
I didn't hear that.
Right. Same way with antifreeze. Goes right back to the earth where it belongs.
Now we can't. I mean, we can, but we can't.
Right.
I've got a 55-gallon drum. We put all the used coolant in, and we have it removed.
Right.
They
Yeah.
come once a month or 2 months and suck that drum out.
You don't imprison or incriminate yourself. Me, I'm not a shop. They have no laws over me,
Right.
and they got to catch
Dude,
me.
they want us to put these 55-gallon drums on these big, huge 4-inch deep catch pans. That way, if there is an overspill, it'll catch down inside there. And I'm like, who are you going to send down here to lift those drums up on top of them?
No shit.
I'm not doing it. I like my back. It's hurt enough.
Yeah.
So,
the EPA and
hey, Colleen.
there's too many government entities involved in every small business or business in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if honestly, the world would be a better place if we got rid of a lot of these programs. Something. Where did your oil come from?
Mine?
Yeah.
Or are you talking?
In general,
I mean,
where does oil come from?
yes.
The ground.
Yeah. But it's a different type of oil. It doesn't have all the additives and everything in it that comes out, that they put in
Straight
engines.
from the ground, right. But where do they get those additives from?
A lot of the additives are man-made, like the synthetic shit.
Right. But where does those like that's what
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It all comes from this planet. Where are they going? Are they going in outer space and bringing it back? That's what I've never
Hey,
understood.
Mike, what's going on, dude? Yeah, I understand.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I guess sorry for making you ramble on,
I'm picking up what you're throwing down now.
but it's always like it can be man-made. There's nothing wrong with being man-made.
Yeah.
All the ingredients that the man had to get to make that came from the earth. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And maybe that, but it doesn't make sense in my brain. If you put them all together, it makes it toxic to go back in the ground where it came from or wherever they got it from, obviously.
Right. Well, all the carbon that the oil collects from the engine makes it toxic.
To who?
The earth. That's what they say. That's what
Right.
they say.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
The flat earthers.
Yeah. I swear if they're the ones making all the laws, that would make a whole lot of sense. It would at least make me feel better. Because then it would make sense.
Those tectonic plates need lubricated.
Yeah, that's what we're doing when we pour it in the ground. We're just lubing up the earth. That's all it is.
Right.
The antifreeze is just to keep it from freezing. Duh.
Get with it.
Yeah, get with the program. This is 2024. Come on.
Where's the Ford effing Ranger?
He is.
You talking about Art?
They got Art and you got Ken. So, which one of those?
Oh, that's right. Poplar tree loves waste oil.
But here's my question: carbon. Carbon is sometimes used to filter stuff. I'm just playing. Excuse me.
The LS Swap Ranger. That's Art.
Isn't Ken's LS swap too?
Ken's?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I thought he had a Ford motor in it.
I don't think so. I might be wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if I've ever seen it run or if I've ever seen under the hood, to be honest with you.
Right.
Now, Dr. Arts I have. It's an LS swap with a turbo. I do know that for a fact. Mike, we all think that. But I don't know. I think differently than the average person, so which is probably a bad thing.
Let's see, where's that?
Have you kind of a dumb question. Have you bought anything from Summit or Jegs recently?
I did Summit about a month ago.
Have you noticed, at least Jegs, they started sending me stickers again?
Dude, I don't buy from Jags.
No?
Nope.
Summit usually
Nope.
does it every time, so.
I switched. I kind of boycotted Jags for a long time because of the shitty people I've dealt with, and dude, I went to drop it was about 4,700 one day, one purchase,
Right.
and they wouldn't discount. I was getting a rear disc brake conversion kit for Dad's '67 Camaro, and it's a different kit than goes on my '79.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was like, hey, that kit was just on sale. Would we be able to get that for that sale price? He's like, yeah, hang on a second. He comes back and he's like, sorry, I can't do that. I'm like, huh? It's only $30.
Right.
I'm getting ready to drop $4,700 on this one freaking ticket. And he's like, sorry, I can't help you. I'm like, huh, all right. So that's when I said to hell with it. I went to our local speed shop over here. I gave them all the business.
Right.
And I get all the rest of my stuff from Summit.
Turbo Tom, you do not want me as a president. I know that for a fact. This world would be probably better, but it would be a lot more dangerous. And not for people like us. That's the funny thing. It just, you would have to be ready to, end somebody. Because all the poor people wouldn't have any money, and all the people that work have money. Figure out which, who's going to steal from who. And theft would be.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Jegs is. I don't have a favorite. And honestly, I really just order it whoever has it, to be honest, usually.
Well, I'll call and talk to Cameras and see if they have it or can get it next day. And typically they put orders in. No more dildo powered vehicles.
Why not? What's wrong with that? Are you saying you're not gender neutral oriented? Do you not like that?
What's up, Rich?
There's Rich.
But yeah, I call and I'll give him a part number and it's like, can you have this by blah blah blah, or do you have it there, blah whatever. And typically he's either the same price or a little bit cheaper.
I would love to see that as a company like Jegs, Jegs is Chinese now. I mean, it's always sold China parts,
I know.
but they've sold the actual company off.
I know.
Summit's always been, I believe, a China-owned company. Might be Japanese.
No, Summit wasn't. Summit's always in the United States, but
it was
a lot of our
some of the parts
it
are
was
Chinese.
actually yes.
Okay.
But
that makes more sense.
And that's where Summit was coming out stronger because they tried to use more of our USA made parts for a long freaking time.
But anyway,
Summit didn't sell to China. Did they sell already?
I mean, there for 2 or 3 years, every time I'd put in big orders to Jegs, and I wouldn't get a sticker. And I know that sounds menial, but I mean, what's it cost them to make one of these sheets?
Right.
$5? And if they buy them in bulk, I know they're not $5. There's no way. But the other thing is, then you got to represent the company you like to buy from. Dakota, that's everywhere, dude. And the other thing I'm finding out is China's getting pretty good. I hate saying that because I want stuff to be made in the USA too. But the whole USA made stuff being better than China sometimes is not always the case. every
Talmadge, Ohio, they're
Summit still bought in America.
yeah.
That's good. I mean, that's wonderful. I'm happy for that. But anyway, every fuel fitting on my car is from China. And I had one leak. I have seen American-made ones leak. Does it matter? Probably not. It probably means there's just a few that, are bad. Colleen's got it right.
What?
Our workforce sucks.
Oh man, I had I had an argument with one of the kids today at the shop, and he kept on. I asked him something about a car that's coming back because they did an oil change, and he was like, "I don't care." I'm like, "Oh, why don't you care? It's your job. I can get another job." Oh, cool. So the fact that the woman got stuck on the side of the road with her child in the car has no never mind, do you? We're supposed to keep their cars safe and reliable so that they can stay on the road.
Right.
He's like, "I don't care. We got insurance." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So let me bring your car in here, fuck it up for you, so you and your daughter can go get stuck out on the road."
No shit.
Well, no. I'm like, "How is it any different? You got insurance, don't you?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's the millennial mindset of these retarded fucking kids today. So he got a little butt hurt from that.
I just want to know, like, obviously, I'm pretty sure I'm Gen Z. I'm not even 100% honest with you. It'll be 2000, so I think so. Because millennials is 87, I think, or 97. I'm sorry, when it ended. So I have to be Gen Z. I think that's the next one. But I look at some of these people and I'm like, do you realize that, like, you have to work eventually? Like, you can't be supported from your parents, or granted, I hate saying it, I still live with my parents, but we're saving to buy a house. Like, I want to live on my own. There's a difference. Some of these people don't want to, or they have their parents buy them a house or pay their rent.
No. I let my kids stay until they save up enough money and get the hell out.
That's the smart thing to do. I mean, you're
Right.
going to make them, especially if they're working. Like, it's different. Like, I could not.
Now, see, me as a 17-year-old. Thanks, Mike. That helps.
We are blessed with that. Thanks.
Exactly. Yep. So, me at 17, I was out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to live by those rules anymore, so I wanted to live by my own rules. So I got a job, and me and my buddy, we had an apartment up the road, and we made a lot of bad choices while we were there, but you live and learn.
Right.
I don't know how I don't have 10 more kids, but, I've been on my own ever since. But today's bills and housing, it's hard to do that.
I don't know how anybody would. Like, I'd have to have 10 roommates just to pay for what people are going to want to pay just to rent a room, not a whole apartment. Like,
yes, Dakota, but I don't swing that way. No sword fighting for this guy.
That's gross. But I hear rents, if you want anything that's livable and not, rat infested or insect infested, you're paying $1,500 a month. That's a heck of a mortgage.
Well, my mortgage is not that much, but I also bought it like 18 years ago. So, right. I only paid $82,000 for my house. I bought a cheap house because I didn't want to be house poor. And
right.
When it come down to, pinching money, I didn't have to struggle to pay my mortgage.
That's what I tell her. I just want something where we can live I can have an inside space to work on something. And that's it. So I don't need any more. I don't need 10 rooms. I don't need a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. I said 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and a kitchen. And
No, Dakota, you missed a lot of information between that statement.
oof, big oof,
Right.
Gary, oof.
A lot of missing
Yeah.
information between that. So
I don't know if you were breaking it out, but you missed like the whole sentence
a
pretty
lot.
much. Right.
But yeah, and that's, trying to get my brats to save money because they got to be those, gadget fanatics and they got to have this and that. I'm like, you don't need
Right.
that. You need to save money.
That's my problem. I want save a lot, and they want me to save a lot more than I'm already saving. Like, it's hard to do.
Scarlet. You're paying $1,300.
That's not bad. That's probably good rent. That's what's sad. That's probably a good price for a decent apartment.
I mean, right now with the high as interest is and everything,
Right.
my buddy at the shop, he just bought a house last year, and after his taxes went up and everything else, he's got a big ass house though, so his mortgage is normally like $1,800, $2,400 now a month
To rent?
No, he owns. That's his mortgage payment.
Holy moly!
Yeah. Yeah, the housing market will drop down in another few years, just like it did before.
Well, that's what all these real estate people are like. They don't want it to crash, but they're going to try and tell you that it's not going to crash, and I hope it does.
Well, it was this high a long time ago, and it went down.
Because what bugs me is that there's a lot of programs out there for people to pretty much have no money down real estate.
Right. Well, see, I couldn't put a down payment on my house when I first bought it, so I had 2 loans. I had my down payment, and then I had my home loan.
Right.
So, first 10 years was a bitch.
Yeah, I believe that.
But
like our down payment a few years ago was like legit. Like what we had saved would have bought us a very nice house. And like just now, a few years later, we're back in the same boat, have no money basically. Even though we have a big lump sum saved up, doesn't matter because the market's outgrown us.
There was I always thought about selling my house and then going after a house that I want with a big ass garage.
Right.
I'd be in a worse spot than I am now.
Well, and the other thing is I can buy a house. There's been a couple that we've looked at, and I'm like, yeah, that's great. I'm 2 hours away from where I work.
Yeah, there is that too.
Now I got a 2 hour drive to work and a 2 hour drive back home.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
No. I don't understand how people do that.
I don't mind driving 10, 15 minutes. I only drive 5 now, but
well, I drive an hour there, an hour back.
Damn.
But I like the job I'm at. I get paid way more than I did my previous job. And yeah, so it's worth it.
No, Mike, I haven't. Maybe Dylan has.
You mean Feet Finder? I'm totally on there. Go check me out. You can see my big curly toes. That's gross.
I had various jobs I've had. Furthest I've ever driven was about 35 minutes one way. And that's when I was driving the Camaros a daily a long time ago. And it got pretty decent gas mileage with that 250 gear it had in it.
Well, Dakota said maybe one day I'll make minimum wage. I understand, like, people are struggling, and honestly, the incomes are not great in this country right now. Like, you want to make decent money, enough to live on, not barely survive on, live on, like, one luxury a month at least. When I say luxury, I'm
times
talking,
18 miles.
what's that? Probably 20 minutes then, roughly.
It could be depending on how much highway is on.
55. I think 55 miles is what my drive is, and it's an hour.
Damn.
Basically. So.
Well, when I was driving to Xenia every day, it was, I think, 13 miles one way, but it was like 20 to 25-minute drive depending on the traffic.
Dan's right, and I was going to get into that. All these big corporations like BlackRock and stuff are starting to buy up housing. How should that be allowed? Like, I don't think that should be allowed.
43 miles? Damn, Mike.
Like, I get it. I get why they're doing it, but like, I don't know how you stop it, because they should be able to buy real estate, but it should only be in what their business is in. Like, me as an individual, I need a house to live in. Like,
But didn't that monopoly though at when they buying everything up like that?
well, that's what I think, but I've not seen any law against it. Monopoly is only in business. Like, when I buy all the businesses. But that's just my opinion. I don't think companies should be able to buy houses. Businesses, like, business shuts down and they're selling the building off. I don't care. Go ahead, buy the building.
Yeah.
But people,
there's got to be something against that. I mean, that's still monopolism. That's,
right. Well, that's what he said. Mike just
not one person can control that much. I mean, that's just BS. Hello, Wendy.
And I don't like being one of those not conspiracy theorists, but people that don't have exactly, they think the world's out to get them. Which, in this state, if that is true, they own that much real estate as a company or corporation. I think it's true. They're totally out for control. They want to control you. But
Jesus. 3 trillion. Whew.
But why? Then the question is, why are they buying it? What is their reason of buying it?
Control.
Right. Control of what? People aren't going to buy houses. You know what they're going to do? They're going to live in
Doesn't matter. They have so much of it now. No matter what one person does, they're still making money.
Right. That's probably true. Because the way I looked at it was, now people aren't buying the houses. What, are they just going to hold on to the houses for nothing? At some point, there's a tipping point where people don't work anymore. They don't care. They're going to start surviving off of nothing. Kind of like the end of the world, except not that kind of end of the world. Just where people don't have houses. They live in tents. They kill their food or whatever.
Right.
I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Like,
It's aggravating.
I don't like to be a conspiracy theorist. That's not who I am.
I don't think that was conspiracy. Conspiracy theorists are the ones that argue about the, buildings getting hit in New York or not landing on the moon.
Right.
Dinosaurs aren't real.
I'm just looking at the facts in front of me and going, here's what I see. There's got to be a reason they're buying it. Yeah, that's the other thing. Dan's right. They just stopped paying into the system, and now the system is on its own at a more or less a standstill. People don't have to spend money. They don't. They don't need money, theoretically. I mean, me and you can go out and kill the food we need. We don't have
that fucking bacon tree, dude. It's a bitch.
Right. That's just the way I look at it.
No.
Here's the one to steal the show. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi, Dylan. Say hi, Dylan. No?
She's like, screw that guy. That's where the crypto helps take back the power. Yeah, but I don't know.
All right. Okay.
Come on.
Mike, you're right. If we agree on the currency, but I feel like
She's cold tonight, yeah.
I feel like there's a big discrepancy in crypto.
Dude, that's just everybody at the shop was buying all cryptocurrency and shit, and they put a bunch of money into it. I showed them I spent $13 on Amazon. A third of a share, I think I bought. And within 6 months, I paid for my tires from just my stocks from Amazon.
Yeah.
And they made like maybe 3 cents on other crypto.
I don't
I'm
get
like,
so what I've gathered from crypto is that it's a pyramid scheme to me. Think about it. Where does it come? Where is value created from it? Well, people need to have it. They like supply and demand.
well, Mike, the only way you can make a fortune on crypto is by putting a ton into it. That's what I had seen.
And then hoping somebody else buys more of it so that it makes yours more valuable.
There's a guy that sent me an email on how he had built his crypto empire, but it took him $10,000 to start.
Well, my other thing is, well, then they got people like that are crypto mining. How can you create more of something that has a set amount? It doesn't make any sense to me.
The system I've heard it takes is insane too.
Like, well, it doesn't make sense to me. If I can just go mine for what's the Bitcoin? Bitcoin. If I can just go mine Bitcoin, why would I pay you for some?
Yeah, Dan's got a point.
I don't see any more comments, but
yeah, I don't. Well, Mike, and yeah, there's still comments popping up. You need to refresh it.
Try.
Dakota. Mike, I can understand what you're saying, but it still doesn't make sense to me how they make so much from it. Because after reading what I did, it just took so much money to create that platform for him to make money on. But that's why I talked to a lady instead of getting into what he did. I got into smaller stocks and I only invested little bits here and there, and I've already made a ton of money.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's happening,
Is your
Rich?
Wi-Fi bad?
Not much. You got
My
me
Wi-Fi?
going with this. You got me going with this. What the heck, crypto
You
coins,
keep
man?
cutting it out for me.
It's a scam.
I have my crypto on a card storage wallet on a Faraday. Oh.
Yeah, he's got some internet trouble. He keeps buffering.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I had, read on before was how much money he had
Fuck it up
invested
again.
on to make how much he's
There
made.
you go. Maybe.
If you had a big, huge lump sum of, money to put into it, you can make a ton on the other end. Why is that one? No, get out of there. I don't know why your other one's still hanging out, but it'll go away eventually.
So we're good?
Yeah, your
Yeah.
old whip keeps buffering
See-
and trying to.
Okay.
I just had my laptop rebuilt by one of my buddies I went to school with, and he put a solid state drive in and fixed a couple other things. And dude, this thing is working so smooth. I love it. Since he's done that, I've not had that
My
jiggery
Mick
jiggle
Wi-Fi
bullshit
acting
that I
up.
did the last time.
God.
Levi McWi-Fi is acting up.
It shouldn't be. I mean, I'm directly connected to the Wi-Fi.
I'm not connected to anything. I'm just connected to my phone. That's it.
Are you talking about corded?
Yeah, it's a LAN connection. I'm connected
Oh, wow.
directly to my my router. And nobody's on the
smokes.
Wi-Fi right now, so something's wrong.
Yeah, I updated my router to a gaming router
Hmm.
just so that it had more process in and out. And it made a humongous difference on watching movies and everything else too.
But as far I have lost where I was really, but the crypto thing, if there's a set amount, let's say it's 2,000, how can somebody make more than 2,000? Which is what the mining is.
Depends on how many times it's changed hands. Even
But-
though it's a like electronic currency,
Right.
when it changes hands, it gains. It gains.
Well, right. But if there's only 2,000, like it's just like Camaros. Let's say there's a 2,000 Copo Camaros. There is no more than that. There's only 2,000 Copo Camaros. If I sell you a Copo Camaro, now I have 1,999, and you have one. So, where does the value come in? That's why I think it's a scam. Whereas with the stock market, if I invest in Amazon, they're making money.
Well, did you ever watch Springer Media? What Amazon's doing to the people that actually own those houses?
No.
You got to watch, man. The houses are being torn down so that way they can put Amazon factory plants and storage units out there. Getting rid of everybody's house in I think it's Chicago.
What's up, Mike? You gonna learn Dylan some crypto?
Yeah, no kidding. Because to me, financially, it doesn't work. The math doesn't work.
He's going to school you, Dylan, as soon as he gets here.
I hope so. Because
Dan,
I'm a math guy. If I put in
you
100,
can't mine copos.
right?
Just get you a Berlinetta instead. Jesus.
You know what's
Explain
funny?
or no?
Yeah, bring it.
Yeah, so a lot of what you experienced with the people that lost money, they invest in shit coins that do nothing. There's an endless supply, and Levi's 100% right. You're not going to make money, but with certain cryptos that provide real world services, every time like XRP is used, every card transaction that happens across the world is going to be run on the XRP ledger. Every time a card is transacted, it's going to take a fraction of a penny out of that transaction. And if you think about every single card in the world using that, that's how the value is stored. And there is a set amount. It's not like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is also valuable in its own sense. I find it to be useless. But so when it has real world use is where there's value in it. So XRP, XLM, ADA, Vet and a couple of these other ones provide real world transactions.
Amazon uses it too.
Well, okay, with XRP then, they're making money as a business and giving you the profit as a shareholder. It's exactly like the stock market. What I'm talking
Except
about,
for it can't be manipulated though. Like if you look at the stock markets, they can be easily manipulated by like as you were saying before, BlackRock. What BlackRock is notoriously known for doing is they'll tell a company like Bud Light, do something crazy, and if you don't, we'll sell off all your stock. So they do something crazy, it drops the price of that stock. They'll, endorse I'm not going to say it, but you understand what I'm trying to get at. So they take a 20 or 30% loss in that company. BlackRock buys more investments, and that's how they make their money. But with crypto, not all crypto, but some cryptos, if you find ones that have real world use, those ones are valuable. But you're not gonna be an overnight millionaire. Like I've made a lot of money on crypto, but it's because I follow trends. Like when Elon Musk says buy Dogecoin, that shit coin, if you pay attention, you'll watch Bitcoin drop. Everybody throws their money into that because they're chasing and listening to what Elon says. But what he's doing is he's encouraging everybody to throw money over here. Bitcoin drops and then they buy it up. So if you pay attention to the trends, you can make a lot of money, but you have to know what's valuable and what isn't.
see, I don't want to put that much effort into it. I want to put my money in it and get my money out.
Well, and there's a lot of crypto that they do. It's called staking, which is like on my ADA, I get 5% a return each week. So each week, 5% of my bag they give me in more crypto. So I make money that way as well in staking.
Like my Amazon stock, I've made 50% on my money in the positive. I've been in it since last year, and I've put very few dollar amounts in as I was able to. Whereas if I had to buy crypto to make money, I just don't like crypto. For the average person,
You can make money, but you got to spend a lot of time doing it.
right. Go ahead.
I mean, I will say that I did spend a lot of time learning about it, but now that I understand what is valuable and what isn't, it doesn't take me a lot of effort anymore. I'll buy certain ones that have real world value, certain ones that I can stake. I throw my money in there and I forget about it. And then when it comes to the stock market, I'm the same way. I have a shitload of money I invest in colleges because that is the only financial risk you can take that you can't bankrupt your way out of. So I invest in colleges for that exact reason. So if somebody goes bankrupt, their college debt still follows them.
If it's private, there's ways to get out of it if it's federal.
Well, anytime you take out a student loan, you can't get out of it.
Most likely.
So you can't bankrupt your way out of paying a college debt.
Yeah. Now the government does have programs where that'll give you money after you've channel or what is it?
But where you would be at as the investor, your money would still come back to you. The federal government is going to pay off that diff. Like for you as the person that owes that debt, sure. But me as the person that invested in you is still getting my money back.
Right.
So instead of you doing all the crypto stuff, you said you still do regular stocks too?
Oh, I have about 750 in a couple different accounts, and like I said, I invest in colleges, and the reason I did that was because it was one of the only things that you can't bankrupt your way out of. So like I lost some money in, other big businesses like Amazon or one of the things I used to invest heavy in was Boeing. But I ended up doing well, but I would lose money because they can bankrupt out of it. And then you as the stockholder can get screwed. Right. So I started looking at people like ways that I could make money that you can't, like when COVID hit, like my portfolio took a hit initially, like everybody else's did. but I bounced back really quickly because of what I invested in.
Did you buy any Lubrizol?
Did I buy what?
GoPro.
Lubrizol.
No.
It's a company owned by what's his name? The guy that owns Hearthshare Bankway or Hearthshare Bikeware. Oh, crap. What's his name?
And yeah, and the other thing I invest in when things are like when the stock market's pumping or crypto's pumping, I'll buy bullion. But bullion's more just a store of value because I buy it for it's like $20 an ounce or something for silver, and if and when it ever goes up, it didn't actually go up; it just follows inflation. So if I bought it for 20 and 5 years from now it's worth 30, it's still the same amount of money. It covers inflation.
Lubrizol is owned by, or not owned by, but he's bought a lot of it. Warren Buffett. And the reason I say that is they made all or a lot of the stuff that goes into hand sanitizer, and like it's one of like I think 5 manufacturers that had that product in the world. So
yeah, 3M made a lot of money too during that, but then they also got hit with that debt lawsuit. So
right.
A lot of their stockholders got hit pretty hard.
Everybody started recording everything.
I only
when you
knew
were
that
on lockdown.
after COVID when I went to.
What happened? Dylan?
Is this Nick Wi-Fi acting up again?
I
Yep.
think it did.
He froze.
Yeah, I bought,
So 10
I
o'clock.
bought into GoPro, and when everybody started recording everything, when everybody was on lockdown, dude, GoPro exploded.
Yeah, GoPro. The other one, like Warren Buffett said, he likes dividends, and so what he did was he would buy dividend stocks that paid off every month, and then he just reinvested. And
Exactly, yeah.
like if you read Warren Buffett's book, he got wealthy, but it took him a while. But every time he got paid, he would take 10 or 15% of his paycheck, dump it into dividend stocks, and then he would reinvest the dividends, and that's how he got really wealthy. Very, very smart tactic. It works, but you got to pick companies that aren't going to go under.
We'll see. I got a couple apps that I use. It's Robinhood and something else. I can't remember what the other one is. And they do monthly dividends in my investments. So it constantly is buying and selling. And that way it's actually gaining, money rather than losing.
What I will say though about Robinhood, if you pay attention to the was it last year when they did that AMC and GameStop short?
Yeah.
They're supposed to Robinhood is based on they're supposed to help the small investors like us. But what happened when that short happened, they went and protected big business. So they wouldn't allow you to sell when those particular ones skyrocketed. So after that all happened, I stopped using them for that reason. I should be able to sell my stock whenever I want. If the thing is cranking and I want to get rid of it, I should be able to and not be held.
Right.
And Robinhood held all the small people from being able to sell off their stocks when that stock got shorted. So that was what's that?
Are they even doing it now?
That happened. That I don't use Robinhood anymore because of that. That happened last year when the GameStop and AMC theater short happened, and a lot of people bought into it and made a fortune. But Robinhood would not allow you to sell. They basically protected the big corporation instead of the little guy, and so that's when I saw him do that. I was like, I can't roll with this company anymore. But yeah, just look up you can Google it. Google the GameStop short or the AMC short. It happened pretty much at the same time, and it was last year. I want to say around this time last year. So, but I use Voya. Voya's decent, and then you can use whatever.
I think that was the other one I was using.
Did we put Rich to sleep? Quick, talk about a motor.
I'm not asleep. It's cold in my house. That's all.
All right. But no, when you want to, if you ever want to talk about finances, this is stuff that I'm really good at, man.
I just know how to spend it. That's where I got to stop.
I think we all have that problem. We all like cars, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's an expensive habit too, but it's a whole lot healthier than a lot of other habits.
Yeah. It's true.
It can still kill you.
Oh, yeah. It also
Yeah.
put you in a poorhouse.
Huh?
Said it could also put you in a poorhouse.
That it will. But, you know, it keeps a lot of people away from doing bad shit. So, me, on the other hand.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in my car hole just tinkering on my cars.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I had a garage, I would, but I don't, unfortunately.
Well, it's like me with my car. I'm actually reupholstering the seats inside my house.
Well, my door panels and my drag radials I actually have in my basement.
Right.
So I'm working on everything downstairs.
I have a garage, and I still have car parts in the house. So,
Dude, before I put my Camaro back together, that was apart for a million years. You pretty much just needed to add gas and a battery to my room downstairs, and it would have started and run. So that's all the parts I had for the car before I actually started putting it back together. Once I put the car back together, holy shit, I had a whole new room. It was funny.
yeah, I'm going to be the same way here soon because over the summer I crashed my Evo, and I'm going to be starting to stockpile parts for that here pretty soon. So, be the same idea. I'll just buy some parts here and there until I got everything I need to rebuild it.
I've had my car 26 years, and I raised my 4 girls on my own for like 14 years. So 10 of those 14 years, the car sat. So it was covered and uncovered and covered and uncovered, but I still bought parts here and there as time went by. So it took a long time to put that car back together.
That's how I get away with buying 2A. I usually just buy all the parts, and then one day, all of a sudden, I'm building a 2A.
So yeah, it's definitely an expensive habit, but definitely a whole lot better we can be doing though. Oh, and my neighbors don't mind it so much, which is good. But man, Mike, it was good talking to you, man. It's the first time you actually come up on my live right there. Normally you're just in the chat.
Yeah, man. I just you hit a topic that I like talking about, so I was like, I mean, I like talking about cars too, but I usually like throwing down random comments to make you guys laugh. So it's usually my stick.
Yeah, right. I know.
And when I'll have to pop up one of these days when I'm at home, and I'll let you see who I am. I'm at work, so I can't turn on my camera.
Right on. So,
but yeah, I'll definitely be back around.
But Dylan says, "Bye, everybody," and sorry.
That's all right. Can't help it. You got bad internet, you know.
Yep.
Well, I'll jump down, man. Keep fucking chatting with people in the chat. But thanks for having me up, man. I appreciate it.
And thanks for coming in. I'm gonna jump off here in a minute. I got to get my ass in the shower and get to bed.
All right, bro. Well, you both have a great night, and everybody in the chat.
Yeah, you too, man.
Take care.
Later.
Later. That was cool.
Yeah. Jason didn't get on tonight, huh?
Jason was on for a few minutes. I'm not sure where he went, but he's probably in bed now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a work day, or work week.
Right. Yep, I got to do the same thing.
Yep, I do too. 5 a.m., but my van's right outside my driveway. All I got to do is get in it and take off. That's it. That's about as easy as you get with a job, you know.
All right, everybody. Whoever is left, Dakota, Dan, Dean, everybody, thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you later, Rob. Thanks for having me on.
All right, take it easy, Rich.
Too.
All right, everybody. Later, Mike. Thank you, Dan. See you, Colleen. I'm not sure who else is left on here, but Tom, take it easy. We'll catch you guys next Tuesday. Hopefully, Jason will do something Thursday. I'm not sure what he's doing or at all. So, but anyway, later on, everybody.